On this project, what we're going to do is take the animal picture that I gave you, and it should be 7 inches by 5 inches, and we're going to divide this up in half inches. And this one, the big paper, is 10 by 14, and you're going to divide that up in 1 inch blocks. So let's start dividing this up, and you can use a ballpoint pen on this one, but use a pencil on your other one. But you start at every half inch and make a mark. So if you need to, print your picture off so it's 5 by 7, and here we're going to make the grid lines over it. And you're going to draw your picture twice the size. So everything in the squares that are half inch will become an inch on the other one. There. Now this picture is gridded. Now I'm going to work on the big piece of paper. So it's going to be every inch on this one. And I'm going to make the lines a little darker so that you can see them in the video. But make your lines fairly lightly so you can just barely see them. That way they won't be that hard to erase when you need to. I'm going to use a longer ruler for doing these lines. Okay, there's the big grid on the watercolor paper, and here is the draft that I'm going to do on the 5 by 7 picture with the grid set up. The next step is to take and start drawing out in pencil very lightly the outline of the animal onto this paper. Don't do the shading in there, but just outline the shading in different areas so that you know where those areas are. And you're going to use a contour line, which is a line that outlines the shapes, objects, edges, shades. Okay, so I'm going to start here. On the top, I'm going to count over 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And this part of the giraffe starts right here. And look to see where it cuts the line. Is it halfway or a third? This is about a third. Then it goes almost to halfway here. It kind of curves up like this. So you're just going to kind of get the outline of it. Then it comes down to here, which is right here, maybe about there. And so it's going to come over to here. And you're going to just try to draw your animal in there at this point. This is going to take a while to do, but the more time you take on it now, the better you'll feel about it later on. There, now once you get it all drawn out, what I'm going to do is give you a what's called a micron pen, which is a permanent ink, and you're going to outline it with this, and it's almost going to be like filling it in or paint by number, just so that you know where your edges are, but it's really not. What you're going to do is you're just going to outline it with this, and then you can erase all your pencil lines, and you'll have these lines, and you can put your shades inside that. Okay, now that I have it done, what I'm going to do is come back in with an eraser and erase all these lines that I've drawn in, so that all I have is the ink from the micron pen. Okay, now I've erased everything. You can see on the giraffe that the drawing is out, just the plain ink lines. And what's going to happen next is we're going to start filling in with the watercolor, and I'm going to use black. And remember that to get a lighter gray with your black, you just add water to it. And to get darker, you add more pigment. And so we're going to start on that.